What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So look, my last video, if y'all watched it, I think it was the middle of the video, and I talked about how I found a lot odd with this. I actually just watched a video about, I was watching it with Candace. It was a video of Candace Owens, and the things that she was saying in the video, I don't know. A lot of it was very odd. A lot of things that have been coming out is very odd. I don't really too much get, too deep, into it, as others. But I am going to say a lot of this is pretty weird. Says the state of Utah is expected to charge 22-year-old Tyler Robinson today. This is his first court appearance, of being, in Utah, which will be virtual. Says he is expected to be charged with, aggravated, I can't say the M word, y'all, but y'all know what it is, which carries the possibility of the D penalty. I'm sure y'all know what that is, but you have to watch what you say on this platform. Utah's governor said Robinson is not talking to authorities, but his family and live-in boyfriend, who said is to be transitioning to female, are cooperating. So that is the only people that he is obviously cooperating with, who he's talking to, and he's letting things know, which a lot of times with this, I'm no professional. I'm obviously not FBI, nothing like that. But a lot of times, in a lot of cases that you do see, people do talk to their families, and they get a lot of information from the family members and stuff like that. Says that as investigators are running over an amount of evidence, FBI Director Kash Patel said there's also evidence. The suspect announced that he's his intent, of doing what he did. Since the suspect wrote a note saying, "I have an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, I'm going to take it," Patel said. So as y'all see, there's more and more things that have been coming out on a daily. Says Tyler Robinson makes his first court appearance after his arrest with an unemotional face, wearing a turtle vest in Utah County jail. So we get to hear what state's evidence is, making it very clear what he's charged with, why he's charged with it. What it was. It says here also September 29th is his next court appearance where he will have counsel. So without further ado, let's check it out.
Mr. Robinson, for count one, aggravated capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty, or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole, or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice, if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count two, felony discharge of a firearm.
You are witnessing here our ABC News Live coverage. This is the first appearance in court, virtually you can see, which is how they do it. In this particular jurisdiction, Tyler James Robinson, the suspect, charged with aggravated among the 7 counts revealed late this afternoon. The judge is now reading those counts to the suspect. He nodded his head, understanding that the charges would be read to him. He was told he can have representation. The county attorney saying Robinson will face those 7 charges, including aggravated obstruction of justice and witness tampering.
So y'all see all of that. I do find a lot of, like I said, odd, especially after seeing different other things being posted, especially what, Candace Owens posted. Not only that, y'all can find this particular court, his court appearance. Just look up Tyler Robinson court appearance. There is a longer video, I'm pretty sure, a way longer video than this. So y'all can go, check that out if y'all want to. But here, which I did find pretty odd, and I'm going to show y'all a couple different things, about this and what I found odd about this whole thing. First of all, you have Black Tahoe. You have Black Tahoes, all Black Tahoes with American flag on the back. Says the neighbor claimed that weeks ago, several people driving cars out of state plates were seen going in and out of Tyler Robinson's residence. So he says they did not give off a good vibe, the neighbor said. So a lot of this is very odd. I'm not going to lie. Not only that, you do have right here, and I'm not going to play a lot of this, but you do have right here, when it comes down to it as well, 71-year-old audience member who was arrested at Charlie Kirk's UVU event says he told cops that he did that. And, I don't know how true this is to distract. But then again, if y'all do go to Candace Owens' video, it's very much so planted, so much as a decoy when it comes down to it. So I do find that very odd. I do find that very weird about this whole thing. Says neighbor says Kirk's, the person, that, did this, Tyler Robinson. Gotta watch what I say, boy. I almost said. Tyler Robinson reportedly had suspicious visitors at his home just 2 weeks before, the assassination. And this went over the 2 weeks, not just, one thing. It was they were coming in, coming out, so that's what I find odd about a lot of this too as well. Says the neighbor told reporters that several people with out-of-state plates, license plates, were seen coming and going from the $1,800 a month townhouse. Robinson shared with Lance Twiggs. If y'all don't know who Lance Twiggs is, let me go to it just a second. Lance Twiggs is the partner that is, the transformer of Tyler Robinson, as y'all can see. This is, both of them here. So if y'all didn't know, who that is, that's clearly who that is. I know I keep on saying that. It's just, it's I feel like it's bothering me because and this is the Candace Owens video right here. I want to make sure I play the right one. But I find a lot, when I say a lot of this odd, y'all, I find a lot of it odd. Y'all know one of those things that you do, and you keep repeating yourself because you seeing more and more things pop up. Like I'm seeing more and more things pop up on X, and it's crazy to me. It says Candace Owens says she spoke with the family of Tyler Robinson's Transformer Lance Twiggs, and they revealed there was unusual surge of vehicles at their home days leading up to Charlie Kirk assassination. So y'all can see a little bit of that, or just look up Candace Owens.
Approximately 3 years ago, he in our home because of his behavior. Just this past Easter Sunday, they are telling me that he showed up on drugs and he was spouting out of his mouth about political stuff. And at this point, they felt that he could not be around children, that they felt that he had become increasingly more radical, increasingly more dangerous, and just sort of off the rails. They said that they're unhappy that the media is presenting him in this like manner, like he's just this kind of like soft guy, or like, a person that was just transitioning. There's like nothing problematic. There's no prodding. They don't buy the story. Okay. Lance's family is telling me that they are not buying the current story and that they feel that more people are involved. First and foremost, they say that a lot of information should be able to be discerned by his devices because he was, according to them, deep web. Okay. This is the person that is deep on the internet. They said that he was quite reclusive, that he was always on his devices, that he's always on the web, and that there should be more information that comes from there. Okay. He turned 22, they told me, back in August, and that he was, as I said, very into this dark web stuff. I asked what he was doing for work. Like, how are they even able to pay you guys rent? And they told me that he was doing some plumbing work with somebody else in the family. They told us that Tyler and him had been living together for at least a year, that they had not met Tyler, despite the fact that Lance had wanted to foster that meeting, that the two of them, this couple, Tyler and Lance, were living in that townhome that is owned by Lance's family, and that Tyler was paying rent to Lance. And Lance then, of course, was forwarding that payment to them. Now, I had asked them about another persistent rumor that is arriving in my inbox, which people are saying who live in the neighborhood that they noticed some unusual traffic. And this individual family member said to me, yup, we are hearing the exact same thing, that they would prod that narrative further. But there was some unusual traffic, a lot of cars that were seen outside leading up to the shooting, in the days before the shooting or the week before this shooting. I'll straighten out that timeline for you and get real specific, because I will pin down when exactly this was happening. But leading up to the shooting, that there were unusual traffic in the driveway where Tyler Robinson and Lance lived. Cars that were not recognized in the neighborhood. This was not a couple that hosted people. It wasn't like they were expecting them to have parties. And so other people are saying that that is something that struck them as odd. There was unusual traffic at this house in the weeks leading up to this shooting. And again, I will perfect that timeline of exactly when, and I have gone out to people for evidence of that. But there were apparently lots of different license plates, and it therefore caused a little neighborhood kerfluffle, because other people were not able to park their cars because there were so many people that were at this house. Unusual traffic. Again, we are prodding that narrative. We are taking a look at everybody, because if I don't feel good about what we're hearing, okay, and Lance Twig's family doesn't feel good about what we're hearing, and we've got Decoy Boy, who's apparently involved in some deep internet stuff, I would say is a fair way to describe it. Decoy Boy, okay, George Zinn. There's more people involved. That's what I'm going to say to you guys. There is very clearly more people involved.
Okay. One thing about it, I pray that Candace Owens is safe. One thing about Candace Owens that I've noticed so much is that when she digs, she digs. When I say that she digs, bro. And one thing about it, y'all have people that dig on stuff, but Candace Owens, she digs and she gets it to that point. Boom. This is right there. I found it. I'm telling you. Candace Owens, literally, she does so much digging. And the crazy thing is, all of it's not the internet. If she got to get out and go talk to whoever, and that's why I say I pray that she's safe. I pray that she's, everything is straight with her. Everything. I'm telling y'all, it can get scary. It definitely can get scary. One thing about it, I pray that everything, is straight. There's more videos that I definitely want to show y'all, though. I will show y'all tomorrow when it comes to Candace Owens. And the things that she is putting out. Because I definitely feel, I'm telling y'all, and one thing about it, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see, and it's very hard. It's very hard to say when it comes down to a lot, that's been, going on. But I do feel as if, and I don't, like I said, I don't get too deep off into things, but I do find that a lot of it is very odd, especially with those vehicles and stuff like that. But I don't know. But then you have this right here. Says Senator Josh Hawley says Biden's FBI was intimidating Charlie Kirk. Literally he says, Charlie told me a couple years ago, I think we're being targeted. I think Turning Point USA is being targeted. Can you help us? I don't know. And this when it comes down to a lot of things that gets sketchy.
Why do you think Biden's FBI was really investigating Charlie Kirk?
Try to intimidate him. You know, it's interesting, Jesse, when I heard that today from Chairman Grassley, something came clear to me. Charlie had said to me a couple of years ago now, he'd taken me aside at one point and said, I think that we are being targeted, that TPUSA is being targeted. And he said, you know, can you help us? And I said, anything you need me to do. And he said, well, listen, I'm just finding out about this. This has got to be what he was talking about. And now we know that Joe Biden, once again, weaponized the FBI to go after his political opponents. It's nothing but terrorism. It's an attempt to silence and intimidate. I'm so glad that Charlie was not intimidated right up to the last day that he had on this earth. That is why he is such a sterling example. But you know what? What Joe Biden did in his administration, we can't ever allow to happen again. You look at the climate they created, Charlie. We're reaping the fruits of that now. The climate of hate and division and suspicion that they deliberately created for years to try to hold on to power. It's despicable, and it's time to turn the page on it.
I'm telling you,
Why do you think
it's pretty wild? It's definitely pretty wild. It's just a lot of things that I feel like a lot of people, even though there's, you know, they have Tyler Robinson in custody, it's like I feel like there's so many things, you know, that I have questions. You know, there's a lot of people that's asking, why didn't he help? You know, why wasn't this brought up before then? But they hardly know anything to help Charlie, you know, and it just, a lot of this, it definitely sucks. A lot of this definitely sucks. I feel like so many people just have so many questions. You know, I feel like myself, even having so many questions about this, I didn't know anything about, you know, Biden, and now this is getting brought up. So it's just like more and more things, you know, that is just is very wild. It's definitely very wild to me. But definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate every single last one of y'all. You know, one thing about it is I'm gonna continue to try to get out as much information as I can. To the best of my abilities. I'm sure there's other creators that's doing the same thing as well, and I definitely applaud them for doing it. One thing about it is that, you know, I definitely love and appreciate, you know, the love, the kindness, you know, the respect that everybody is doing. You know, I've not seen anything coming from the right. You know, I haven't seen anything, you know, they're quick to put out, oh, they did this, it's been so peaceful and so calm, you know, so understanding, so respectful, you know, with things, you know, and you see so many people, you know, on the left that's just putting out so much hate, you know, and pointing fingers. And it literally just goes to show you. It literally goes to show you everything. But you already know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate every single last one of y'all. Catch y'all next one.